So by watching this particular YouTube video, you are helping heat the 2024 Olympic pool. Yes, really. Heat from a nearby data centre is being redirected underneath this Paris neighbourhood, a neighbourhood that includes the Olympic Aquatic Centre.
It's an incredible feat of engineering that could have all sorts of ramifications for cities right around the world. Could all our online activity actually help heat entire districts?
This is the bright green future of the internet.
The Olympics is going green and taking Paris with it. Gone are the days of spending billions on entire Olympic parks and multiple new state-of-the-art venues. It's now much more about restraint, managed costs, and longer-term legacy. Paris is a shining example of this new era, with almost every event taking place in an existing or temporary arena. In fact, just 2 new permanent sports facilities have been constructed: the beautiful Aquatic Centre and the much smaller Le Bourget climbing wall.
Now, the Aquatic Centre is already a low-carbon building, with many of its materials being bio-based. It also has that massive 5,000 square metre roof, which is covered in photovoltaic panels. Now, those panels help generate energy for the building, and also give it the title of France's largest urban solar farm. The city of Paris itself is also undergoing a green makeover to coincide with the Olympics. There's going to be new public parks, traffic taken off the roads, even entire carbon-neutral neighbourhoods. You'll also be able to swim in the Seine for the first time in more than a century.
And now, one of the city's key districts is being heated by the internet. But to explain how, we need to take you back a few steps and give you a quick recap on how the internet actually works. It's easy to forget that the cloud is in fact a real place. Well, lots of places actually. The internet is a network that connects servers stored in data centres all over the world. And all the equipment in those centres produces an enormous amount of heat.
Whether you realize it or not, you are likely to use the services of the data center in your daily life. Whatever you look at a Netflix program, or you book for you're making an appointment at your hairdresser or for at your doctor, you obviously use the services from a data center.
Now, this right here is not your average strawberry, because this strawberry was grown by the internet. I'm in a greenhouse on top of a state-of-the-art data center in the middle of Paris, and the internet is basically taking place underneath my feet. The heat of all those servers is being harnessed, contained within this space, and used to grow plants and fruit on the roof. Pieces of fruit like this, and they taste amazing.
Now, granted, data centres might not sound that exciting, but they're actually some of the most secure and locked down buildings on the planet. Normally, they're way off limits and almost impossible to get into, but today's video sponsor Equinix reached out to us and invited us to bring our cameras inside. What we uncovered was not just how data centres work, but how they're evolving.
Underneath that greenhouse is this, PA10. A state-of-the-art new data center in Paris. In fact, it's so innovative that it's less of a data center and more of a data campus. This down here is what the future of the internet looks like.
To help lift the lid on this building and learn more about how it works, I caught up with Rachel, one of the supervisors at PA10. And of all places, we started up on that unusual roof.
You've got wildflowers, there's a bug hotel I can see,
Yes.
and this greenhouse is incredible. Like, you've got food generated by the internet. Tell me more about it, how does it work?
So the rooftop of PA10 is a home for 430 meters of greenhouse that grows vegetables and fruits, particularly tomatoes, strawberries, eggplants. We try to give and to help our city. How? So all the fruits or vegetables, what you see here is shared with the community. We try to give to all the solidarity grocery or association to help everyone who suffered food insecurity.
It's amazing, like people watching this YouTube video, going on Netflix, Instagram, all their search or their internet use is basically generating heat underneath us.
Yes.
That's growing food for a community here in Paris. It's amazing.
It's of course the stuff that's happening down below this little oasis that makes it possible. The heat from data centres would ordinarily be lost, but PA10 shows it can be harnessed and put to all kinds of other uses, from growing fruits to heating entire neighbourhoods. And it all happens through a process known as heat export.
So this is a data hall, which is kind of the beating heart of any data centre like this. Now, the equipment in these cages is kicking out between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius worth of heat. And that heat gets transferred to a different room where huge fans blow it against pipes filled with liquid. Now, those pipes would ordinarily take that heated liquid and transfer it to a cooling system which would eject it via the roof. Now, that's great for keeping the data center cool, but it's a bit of a waste of all that heat. But at PA10, a portion of the heat is transferred to a heat exchanger. Now, that's basically like a series of plates that allow it to pass very close to the district's heating main system. And from there, the heat is taken on right across this community to all different types of buildings, including the Paris 2024 Olympic pool. And this right here is where that magic happens. So heat from the servers heats water in this system. They transfer the heat from air form to liquid form. It's a more efficient way, more effective way of moving it around. It then goes through these pipes, connects onto the district heating main in this area, in this community, transfers into their liquid system, and goes on to provide heat for a whole community. It's incredible.
The basic idea behind heat recovery is taking the heat that's generated by our customers' IT equipment within our data centers. This heat is diverted through a heat exchanger, which transfers the heat from our data center cooling system to an energy company's system. And this energy company then raises the temperature of this 30 to about 60 plus, and then that's when it's pumped via buried pipework to the community.
It would be reused by different stakeholders. Here, for example, in an area of about 200,000 square meters, it will be used by about 1,600 homes. It will cover businesses as well, but of course it will be used by the Olympic pool to heat the pool.
So let's just break that down. You're watching this video at home on your phone. That video is stored in servers for YouTube. The heat given off by the chips in those servers is then transferred through a system of pipes to this district in Paris. That district happens to contain the Olympic training pool, where it's being used to heat water ready for the athletes at Paris 2024. It's a really bold idea. Equinix even estimates they can heat at least 1,000 homes. But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
There's a study that was done by Euroheat and Power, and they estimated that there's about 77 terawatt hours of energy available in the form of heat that could be captured from data centers. And to put that into some sort of context, that means that could supply about 8 million homes across the EU with heat from data centers.
And that's just the start. Equinix has signed on to heat 3,000 homes in a new scheme in Europe. There's also going to be a lot more heat to export in the future, because data centers are having to expand to meet the processing demands behind AI. So, as it turns out, the servers that contain the internet are really this untapped resource that's ripe for the taking. With the cost of living and energy crises, much of the world is crying out for innovative ways forward. And it could just be that, in an unexpected twist, the internet holds the answer. This video was sponsored by Equinix. You can learn more about how their data centers are heating neighborhoods at the link below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to help heat Paris by binging our content, make sure you're subscribed to the B1M.